Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, dropped a like on this video, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment. You can follow my Twitter, it's Michael BBOTT, and follow my Instagram that I just made, it's BBBGoth. I'll have screenshots on the screen and also link them in the description if you guys want to follow me there. Subscribe to me, like the video, comment down below, share it on social media if you want to. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. About a month ago, I released a ranking video, a 9-hour ranking video that was highly controversial, where I ranked every single Big Brother house guest that has played the game, gave my thoughts on them as game players, and also my personal ranking. So today, in honor of Big Brother 25 being right around the corner, well, kind of right around the corner, I feel like I want to drop one more big-ish video before the start of the new season, and that's going to be this video ranking all 24 seasons. Now, I gave a lot of disclaimers for my house guest ranking, which I regret doing because at the end of the day, there are some Big Brother fans that are so fucking stupid and irrational that I could give a million disclaimers about how I don't literally care about them as people and this is a TV show, and people will be like, how nasty are you to say this about my favorite house guest? Like, somebody got mad at me because I don't like Caleb because he killed a pig. Like, what the fuck? So this one, I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, this is my ranking of the seasons. You are allowed to have your opinion. You're allowed to give constructive criticism on my list. But at the end of the day, this is mine. It's not, oh, Big Brother Boy's going to try to please the fans and give a ranking video that he thinks everybody's going to agree with. No, it's my personal ranking, how I like the seasons. And I will say, though, just so you guys get a headspace of how I'm looking at this, typically I like seasons that are unpredictable, entertaining with lots of fights, and I'm somebody that appreciates the social experiment and the socialization of Big Brother more than the overproduced game we get today, like the strategy and stuff. Like, I love strategy, obviously, that's what Big Brother's known for, but before the strategy, it was a social experiment. And that's what I prefer, and I love fights, love entertainment. Like I said, unpredictability is all for me. So if there's a season that has a lot of fights, not a lot of gameplay, I'm going to like it more than a season that has a lot of strong gameplay, but that's dull, if that is making sense. So there's your disclaimer. I did a quick ranking of the seasons a few months ago on Twitter, and I will say this season is not in the exact same order, and my list changes all the time. So I feel like doing a 24 numbered numerical list of the season isn't necessarily conducive, and it makes it seem more definitive, but it is changing, but it doesn't change drastically my personal list. Like, the seasons that are towards the top that are my favorites will always be my favorites, always be at the top, but they might go down a couple of places or up a couple of places. The number one's always going to stay the same, but we'll get there later. But then the middle seasons and the lower seasons that I dislike a lot, those again will always be lower seasons, will always be in the middle, but their placements might change just a little bit. So that's all the disclaimers I'm going to say. And also, one last thing to know, I did not include Big Brother 1 because I never saw the first season of Big Brother. It is a different kind of game. Yes, it's more of the social experiment, but I didn't watch it, and it was America voting, so it was very kind of different. Didn't include it, but I do have 24 seasons because I did include Big Brother Over the Top because I love Big Brother Over the Top. So with all that being said, let's get into this crazy list. 24th overall, my least favorite Big Brother season of all time is Big Brother 22, aka Big Brother All-Stars 2, and let me tell you why. A lot of people are going to be like, this is recency bias. No, it's not. If there's one thing I do, it's not recency bias. That's one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to Big Brother fans. Recency bias and revisionist history and double standards, but I feel like those are everybody's pet peeves. Anyway, let me talk about Big Brother 22 and why I fucking hate it. So, this season, for me, in my head, I was like, here we go. After so many modern seasons that I really didn't sort of jive with, weren't my favorites, and I saw Big Brother going on sort of a downward spiral, I really thought Big Brother 22 was going to revive my passion for the show, which it didn't. Another season did, which we'll get there later. But Big Brother 22, we were unsure if we were ever going to get a Big Brother season this year because of COVID, and then it was announced that it was going to be All-Stars 2, which the fans have been rumoring for years and years, speculating, hoping for, and honestly, when the cast dropped, or the rumored cast dropped, I was excited. I feel like if you look back at the season 22 cast, they had a lot of big names. Like, you had Kevin, you had Danny, you had Memphis, Keisha, Bailey, Janelle, Kaser, Ian, Davon, like a lot of big names, and on paper, it seemed like it was very good, which, another side note, back then on my old channel when I covered it, my least favorites and like the only 4 people I didn't like were Nicole Franzel, Cody Calafiore, Enzo Palumba, and Christmas Abbott. And take one guess who the final 4 house guests were. I guess 4 guesses. That's right, it was my least favorite. So that alone pissed me the fuck off. But aside from that, it was infamous for the pre-gaming scandal with Derek and Cody, and while I don't fault Derek and Cody for pre-gaming, it did affect the season drastically in the entertainment department. Anybody that wasn't aligned and with the committee was sent home. Predictably, there was no real opposition. The other side of the house could never gain any traction, didn't win any competitions. They steamrolled the house, and I feel like any season, which there's 2 of them, that involves Cody Calafiore and Derek Levasseur getting anywhere near the end is fucking boring as shit. Which, no hate to them, I really don't, like, you can go watch my house guest rig. I really don't hate either one of them or wish ill will on them, and I think they would agree that they're not the most entertaining people in the world, but they definitely made both of their seasons extremely boring. And as I was saying, Big Brother 22 really doesn't have any redeeming qualities. There was no real great fights. I mean, we got Christmas versus Bailey and Davon, but I didn't really enjoy that because Davon was so distressed in that moment. It was really more uncomfortable to watch. And then we got Janelle versus Nicole, which was barely a fight. Danny versus Christmas, which was literally like 2 words when Danny left. Danny versus Kevin in the jury house. And as far as that went, again, just like a little quick back and forth interaction. Nothing too major. Season overall, my favorites did badly. My least favorites got to the final 4. Not a lot of fights, not a lot of drama, no real big gameplay going on, just very predictable, very boring, and that is why Big Brother 22 is my 24th season overall. Number 23 overall is actually my first season of Big Brother. What got me into this crazy fandom, crazy in a good way, is Big Brother 16. Now, surprisingly, there is a large chunk of people that love Big Brother 16 and love the cast, and so, you know, I was going to say I'm going to be very careful with my words, but fuck it. I do not like Big Brother 16 at all, which ironically, when I first watched, I was very reluctant and hesitant to go back and watch other seasons just because it was like, I know this cast, I really like them, and I just don't want to have to get to know all new people. And then I run back, watched almost every season that year, and just realized how fucking shitty Big Brother 16 was and how much I really didn't appreciate it. Whenever I rewatch clips of it, I'm like, these people I really just don't like. I feel like it was the first season that introduced a lot of recruits that were there for followers, Instagram followers, trying to become influencers, which really did hinder the gameplay. A lot of them just sat around doing nothing. And to piggyback off of what I said about Big Brother 22, this season had both Cody and Derek. And again, not going to attack Derek for this, but he is an extremely boring player, and he's gone on in interviews before the season, after the season, and he said that he literally told the producers, listen, you put me on, I'm going to dominate this game, and I'm going to make it a boring show. Like, he is self-aware, he knows he's not entertaining, so I don't necessarily fault him for that, but in season 16, he got his people. The bomb squad was formed by Devin, and then Derek just kind of broke off the people that weren't irrational, or Devin, and then he kept all of them together. They had control most of the game. Again, there wasn't too much opposition. Donnie won a few vetoes here and there. Nicole won a couple HOHs here and there, but he was very good at encouraging people not to have any sort of altercations in the house, and it did make for a very dull season, not to mention Battle of the Block, which is a twist that hindered gameplay completely. I feel like the producers were in the right state of mind, and I could see why they thought it would be good and encourage people to make big moves, but it did the direct opposite. Obviously, if you want to stay HOH, you're going to nominate 2 house guests that you think are going to lose a competition. So you're going to nominate the weaker people in the house who don't really like to throw down or fight. And that's kind of what happened. And we got a very dense season that didn't have much going on. It did have a few fights in the beginning. Brittany versus Pow Pow, Devin versus everybody, Zach versus Pow Pow. And then the end of the season, we did have Frankie and Christine versus Nicole. We had Victoria versus Zach. So there were some good moments. I'm not going to act like it was boring the whole way through, because it wasn't. But overall, it was a very long season. And for most of the weeks, nothing too exciting was going on or against the grain. I think Frankie getting screwed over by the I don't even know what you call that twist. The red button that they all hit, the reset week thing, I think that hindered the game. I think it would have been interesting seeing Frankie as the underdog on the outs, and he wasn't really in the know, knowing that he was the underdog on the outs, and he almost competed his way to the end and was the opposition for Cody and Derek. I wish we saw that play through, but it was ruined by yet another twist. Overall, just didn't like Big Brother 16, just like 22. It was boring, predictable, and not much good going for it. Derek's a deserving winner, very smart, intelligent player, not taking that away from him. Another thing I fucking hated of season 16, probably off the top of my head, which I can't go through all the seasons in a second, but off the top of my head, probably my least favorite house design. That shit was ugly as fuck. Like, I hated that. Moving on. Number 22 overall, we have season 19, which is yet another predictable season. Do you see a pattern here? So, Okay, I don't know why I thought in my head, like, say this. It'll be like a cute one-liner, and really made myself cringe. Anyway, so season 19 had so much potential. I feel like, or I know the cast is dumb. I feel like 17, wait, no, not 17, 19, 16, and 14, dumbest cast in the history of Big Brother. I'll say it straight up. Pretty obvious now. Don't like those casts. Like, I really don't. But the season 19 one, even in preseason, you could tell that they were a little fucking dumb, but they had so much potential, and a lot of them did get into major fights and were entertaining. Like Jessica and Cody, Josh, Raven, Matt even fought people, Elena, Mark. There was somebody I was going to mention but forgot. Christmas even fought people. Like, they did have a lot of... Megan even fought people. Like, there were fighters in here that were entertaining. They just didn't have a brain in their heads. But this season was such a letdown, and I feel like a lot of people say, oh, Big Brother... Again, here's a quick little story. I was out with my friend the other day, and we were looking for directions to this place, and there was a waitress in the back on her smoke break, and she saw I was wearing the same hoodie because I only owned one shirt, apparently. And she was like, I love Big Brother. And I was like, oh my gosh, no way. What's your favorite season? And she said season 19. And I looked at her and I said, why? And what she said was because Paul's antics made it really fun. Like, he was so, like, crazy, and I loved it. And my friend that I was with, shout out to Ryan, he was like, oh yeah, I could see that. And I kept trying to jump in. Like, I was about to jump down her throat and be like, what? Paul, the one that made it insanely predictable and boring and encouraged such bad, toxic behavior that made me want to stab each and every house guest. That's the Paul that you credit for making 19 your favorite season. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I was so mad. But that's what I mean when it comes to the end. Sorry, I went on like such a weird tangent there. So, people do say 19's underrated in the entertainment department. I recently watched a montage of the 19 fights, and it's like, yes, there was a lot of fights, but to me, I'm not watching them being like, oh, this is good TV, I'm loving this. It's the house ganging up on one or two people, being like Jessica and Cody, Dominique, Mark, Elena, like everybody just ganged up on them, attacking them, and it's like not fun to watch and not really a back and forth fight, and it's like the same thing over and over. We get it. This person went against Paul, now you're attacking them. Josh, you're Paul's bitch. Like, anyway. Oh, also, sorry if I call Paul he. He goes by they, them, which I didn't know, but I thought he used he, him pronouns and also they or them. I thought they went with either or, so I'm still not sure because they took those out of his bio. Sorry. So, sorry if I'm misgendering Paul. Not meaning to. But to get back onto 19, there were fights. There was some entertaining moments, like the halting Hex, Jessica ending that. There were some fights that I guess were redeeming, like Jason versus Raven and Matt was good. Raven was a star of the season. Raven's one of my favorite house guests ever. Go watch my house guest ranking video. Take a shot every time I tell people to go watch my house guest ranking video. I loved her. She was insane. She provided so much drama, and she was a good getaway from the toxicity this season. Catching up with all of her lies on the live feeds and everything she said that was complete bullshit was so funny. Her eviction when she was like crying, bawling, and then would also talk about the whole duration of the season, how she was physically fucked up, and then did a cartwheel on her way out. I was like, what is going on? Her fighting everybody in the jury house, specifically Mark, Jensen, was great. Loved her. But again, Paul ran this season, and it was just like 22 and 16 with Derek and Cody. It was just so predictable. You knew whatever Paul said went. You knew that anybody that wasn't riding Paul's dick was going to be evicted, and that's what happened. And for me, one thing about Big Brother Boy, if the season was predictable, it's going to be ranked low. And this season definitely was. And again, not too many redeeming qualities, but more than 16 and 22 had. At 21 overall on my list, it's going to go to Big Brother 5. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Got a lot of hate for it on Twitter by the faceless trolls that are obsessed with Big Brother Boy and quotes my tweets and screenshots my tweets every time I tweet. Hello to you guys. I know you're obsessed with me. Thank you for giving me attention and clout. I appreciate it. Anyway, Big Brother 5, I feel like I could go on a long rant, and I'm going to say I'm not going to do that, but I probably end up will, but I can keep it really quick for you. Quick and simple. So on paper, Big Brother 5 is a good season. You have the awful antagonists, the four horsemen of Drew, Cowboy, Scott, and Jace, and they were just very nasty douchebags, assholes to the entire house. And then on the other side, you had the underdogs like Diane, Nokomis, Karen, the twins, Natalie and Adria, Will, and Lori. And you saw the underdogs overtake the evil bad people in the house, so it should be a great season, right? But for me, no. And it's as simple as this. Yes, the underdogs did overtake the four horsemen who I did hate and wasn't rooting for and was glad when they were evicted. But I didn't like the underdogs. Like, I just could not connect with Diane. I don't like Diane Henry. Like, I'll say it straight up. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people do, but to me, all she kind of did was cry that Drew didn't like her the whole season, and it gave me a headache. Do I think she's good at the game? Somewhat. Like, I don't think she's horrible. Then there was Nokomis, who a lot of people credit with the backdoor plan, which, like, she kind of implemented it, but it was literally Mike Lubinsky's move that he relayed to Marvin, who relayed to Nokomis, who made it a thing. And again, anybody would eventually have come up with that. You just have to count the numbers. So, like, go ahead, give Nokomis the credit for that. Doesn't make me like her anymore. The twins were entertaining, and I did appreciate the entertainment they brought. Will was okay. Karen was kind of irrelevant. Lori I liked, but she was gone too soon. Like, I just couldn't connect with this cast. Hated Cowboy. Drew was whatever. Boring as shit. Didn't really like him. Marvin, I like Marvin. I want Marvin back. I put him on my second chances cast. But aside from that, there wasn't too many big moments in the season, at least for me. And, like, the big moments that we did get, I didn't really care about because, like I said, just with this season, watching it, I couldn't connect with it because I didn't like borderline any of the house guests. And the ones I did like, it was more give or take. Like, the twins and Marvin, like, I like them for entertainment, but am I like, oh, they're like my favorites, like, I love them so much, they seem so cool? It's like, like, they were okay, like, not my favorite. So it's hard for me to rank a season high and connect with a season where I really just don't give a shit about anybody there. There are some exceptions, which we'll get to later, but season 5 overall, I get why people love it. Like, I really do. Like I said, on paper, it's good, and if you could connect with those underdogs, this is going to be a season for you. But for me, it just really was not, because I did not give a shit about these people. 20th overall is Big Brother 9, and for a lot of what I said about Big Brother 5, you can attribute to Big Brother 9 as well. Not a lot of gameplay going on, much less than Big Brother 5 have, but yet again, the cast I really didn't like or connect with. The only ones that I would say that I do passionately like now, like, I would look back and be like, oh my gosh, I like them a lot, was Allison and Amanda. Both left pre-jury, so didn't even get them to stay around that long to enjoy. There were a lot of very messy moments this season, a lot of big fights, and a lot of ugly fights, and a lot of ugly comments that were made, which, yes, sort of hinders the season for me, but a lot of the fights felt like very trashy reality TV fights, which I like trashy reality TV most of the time, but this season didn't really balance it out well. It was just kind of a lot of people screaming at each other, a lot of people that I didn't give a shit about screaming at each other. So for those reasons, I just, again, like Big Brother 5, just can't really connect with it. I will say, I feel like if I were to rewatch Big Brother 9 again, I would be higher on it, but I haven't in years, and I rarely rewatch clips from 9 just because I don't enjoy it or remember not enjoying it. And honestly, that's all there really is to say about Big Brother 9. The only two I like left pre-jury. There was a lot of scream matches, was a lot of fights, was a lot of entertaining moments, but I didn't like the house guests, so didn't really care. It was kind of like a headache to watch a lot of them, especially like Natalie, no offense to Natalie, Matt was fucking annoying. Chelsea, I know a lot of people love Chelsea, but for me, I was like, please. She reminds me a lot of Maddie from Big Brother Canada 4, which I have a lot of respect for Maddie now. Again, like, Big Brother Canada 4, I watched and didn't like Maddie, but Big Brother Canada 4 is my second favorite season of Big Brother ever, like, including US. And, like, now that I rewatch, I really appreciate Maddie, and I feel like it would be the same with Big Brother 9. I would rewatch and be like, oh my gosh, I like these people a lot, or, like, this season was kind of good, kind of underrated, entertaining, but for now, haven't rewatched it, so it's going to be 20th overall, or I think I said 20th. Who knows? My 19th season overall is going to be Big Brother 4. Another controversial take. I know people are going to send me death threats for the Big Brother 4 and Big Brother 5 slander, but, you know, I'm ready for it. I get death threats, like, let's be real. Like, I'm used to it. I don't really give a shit. Like, I read comments, I'm like, oh, that's annoying, like, bye. Anyway, Big Brother 4. Here's my thing with Big Brother 4. I feel like it goes against the grain of a lot of my principles for why I like seasons. For example, I think Big Brother 4, I loved the end game of, which is weird because Big Brother seasons typically slow down by the ending, and the endings are typically worse. But when June and Allison joined together, and even with they had Erica there with them and sort of took down the Three Stooges and all the opposition, I loved it. I was like living for that little trio. And then the duo, obviously, of Allison and June, some of my favorite house guests ever, a couple of my favorite house guests ever. And I really enjoyed that. This was a season with exes. Not everybody had an ex, which was weird. And it honestly kind of made the season very trashy, again, like Big Brother 9, trashy reality TV. But for Big Brother 4, I feel like it worked better than Big Brother 9. Big Brother 9 was trashy, but not like it was kind of hard to get behind, but Big Brother 4 is trashy, and it kind of works for the atmosphere or for the season as a whole. I feel like with the whole X's vibe, like it really went through. We had Scott's self-eviction or removal from the game, which was so funny. His obsession with Amanda was very creepy. Felt bad for Amanda, but it was entertaining to watch. There were a lot of fights like Allison versus Justin. Don't know why I can't think of any more fights off the top of my head, but there were like a lot of drama, a lot of tension in this house. But the reason I have it ranked this low is because 90% of the season was this Three Stooges show being Justin, Robert, and G. Like, almost every segment, I feel like up until the ending was relating to them. And Justin, I was like meh on, like I was indifferent, didn't like him, didn't dislike him. G, I was 50-50 on. It depended on the scene. Sometimes I liked him, sometimes I didn't. And Robert Roman, who's one of my least favorite house guests ever. I fucking hate Robert Roman. Go watch my house guest ranking video if I haven't said that in the past 30 seconds. And so seeing them all, like every single segment of the show, it was a fucking eye roll and a headache, and I just did not enjoy it. I did love the bitter finale when June won. Okay, this is how it went. Julie Chen, congratulations, June, you're the winner of Big Brother, and this was the house guest. You see, I don't know if you could tell, but over there's actually dead bodies in the ground because I'm at the graveyard. If you're a new person watching my channel, like to hang out with the graveyard, and I feel like the dead bodies are going crazier and making more noise than the house guest did when June won Big Brother 4. I'm gonna be completely real. Like, it was very awkward, but it was very fun to watch, and I did enjoy that. I love the Big Brother. I said it already. I love the ending of Big Brother 4. Loved Allison and June, and there were a couple of fights, but overall was not enjoying the whole Justin G and Robert show. 18th overall is going to go to Big Brother 15. And now Big Brother 15's a tricky one, not to talk about, but to sort of rank. We can go over the good parts of Big Brother 15. So Big Brother 15 does have a lot of my favorite house guests, or 3. Well, 4. I love Candace. I love Andy. I love Helen. I love Alyssa. I believe Helen, Alyssa, Andy are in my top tier of favorite house guests ever. Go watch my Big Brother. Okay, I'm done saying that. But seriously, go watch my Big Brother house guest ranking if you want to. There are some of my favorite house guests ever. I think Andy dominated this game. I personally believe he played the best game of Big Brother we've seen. I think, or at least in terms of the people who won, I think he's the best winner. His moves are masterful. Riding out everybody to Helen, Amanda, McCrae, Alyssa, and getting them to go home. He did the dirty work without doing the dirty work. Like, he was responsible for the evictions, but was able to transfer the blood to other people's hands. His move against Alyssa and Amanda in the double eviction, evicting Amanda and then framing it on Alyssa and getting Alyssa sent packing too. Just phenomenal gameplay from Andy. And the cast in general, you look at every single cast member and you're like, racist. Just kidding, we'll get there. Well, not just kidding, but you look at every single one of these house guests, and they were fighters. Like, every single one of them, both personally and gameplay-wise, fought. Like, they fought for their position in that game. They also fought about fucking stupid shit, like wine, and rehashing the wine, and just very absurd things like clothes. My favorite fight of all time, or one of them in Big Brother, is Amanda and McCrae versus Alyssa, about Alyssa and McCrae touching each other's clothes. Very absurd. Like, they fought over literally nothing, these house guests. And the house guests were very strong in the gameplay department. Like, Andy, Alyssa, McCrae, Helen. Well, McCrae kind of. Even, like, Spencer and Aaron, like, not to give her any sort of credit, but these people fought. Like, they were not coasters, you know? There's a term floaters in Big Brother. I respect floaters, but then there's people who coast and just sit there and think they're at summer camp. But Big Brother 15 didn't have any of those. Maybe David, if that, but everybody, like, fought. Like, Jesse, Candace, Howard, Caitlin, even Jeremy, Nick, like, every single house guest, I think I just named them all. Every single house guest, really, Gina Marie, Spencer even, they all got down and dirty and fought for their position in the game, which is super, super refreshing to see. There was a lot of strong gameplay. There was a lot of strong fights. We saw the MVP twist, which honestly was pretty unfair, but it did make the season better. We saw Alyssa use it to save herself and get rid of the villains of the house, like the Nicks and the Jeremys and the Caitlins. And while it was unfair, like I said, to watch, it did make the season better. But now for the ugliness. Obviously, it is the most infamous season of Big Brother. There was so many disgusting comments made by a lot of the house guys. I know Aaron and Gina Marie take the brunt for a lot of the horrific comments made, but Nick made bad comments. Jeremy did, Caitlin, Spencer, Amanda, like, a lot of people made horrible comments, and That's why for me, I have to rank Big Brother 15 low. There is a large group of people that are like, Big Brother 15 is like one of the best ever if you look past the racism. If you can set aside the racism, like Big Brother 15 is good. And it's like, for me, personally, I can't just like set aside the racism. Like, that's one of the first things I think of when it comes to Big Brother 15. I think it's synonymous with controversy. Like, take this example for a second. Let's say like your friend or like your boyfriend or family or somebody calls you up and is like, hey, we're going out to eat. And you're like, oh, okay, like that's cool. Where are we going? And then they tell you like your least favorite restaurant or least favorite food. And in your mind, you're just kind of like, ew. Like, you don't even really have to think about it. You're just kind of like, that's gross. Like, that's me when it comes to Big Brother 15. Like, I don't think of the strong gameplay like I mentioned earlier, or the strong fights or the entertaining fights that we have. I think of all of the controversy and bad behavior that surrounded this season and the mistreatment of people like Howard, like Candace, like Helen. And I just, for those reasons, I just don't rank it high. I think overall, you did have great fights, you did have great gameplay, but there was so much ugliness, and for me, the ugliness just outweighs any of the good. 17 overall is going to be Big Brother 12. And now Big Brother 12 was a season with the Brigade. Matt Hoffman, Enzo Palumbo, Lane Ellenberg, and Hayden Moss ran this game. Matt created this alliance and they were dominant until the end, except for Matt, who they flung. And this season, honestly, for me, is pretty boring. They had a lot of dull moments, but I feel like the highs of Big Brother 12 were really high, which I credit a lot to Rachel Riley. I think without Rachel Riley, this season's nowhere as high as it is on my list. Like, if it wasn't for Rachel, the season would be a lot lower. Rachel Riley was made for reality TV. You could go through and look at all the people that she fought in Big Brother 12. Actually, I'll list them for you. Reagan, Brittany, kind of, Monet, Matt in the jury house, even Kathy. She literally fought Kathy in like that bowling competition that Jeff and Jordan hosted. How she got mad at Kathy for celebrating that she beat her in the Power of Veto competition. How can anybody get in a fight with Kathy from Big Brother 12? Like, it takes a special kind of person for that, and Rachel Riley is that person, which I loved. She was the main character of season 12, but even aside from her, there were a few good moments. We had Annie, who started a lot of beef, or in the 1 week that she was there, started a lot of drama. It's kind of insane. And then that was really it. Maybe Annie and Rachel I was going to say more, but really that's it. Brittany had amazing diary room sessions. I love me some Brittany Haynes, but who doesn't love Brittany Haynes? She had a lot of great moments, a great one-liner. She even won a couple of power vetoes or a couple of competitions. So it was great to see Brittany too. But overall, those were just a couple of good moments that take up a few hours of time on the TV show compared to like the long-ass, boring, predictable gameplay we got, which again, it was like whoever wasn't with the Brigade got sent home. Oh, also Rachel's fight with Kristen. That's who I forgot. The iconic floaters, you better grab a life vest, Kristen. Oh yeah, I'm such a floater. Really, what competitions have you won? Like that fight, we all know. Great fights. There was great moments, but there was a lot of boring moments with the Brigade. But honestly, I am a lot higher in Big Brother 12 now than I was before. I think I put too much weight on the boringness of the season to appreciate the good, and I do that a lot. I'm definitely a glass half empty type of person, so when I think a season has a lot of negatives, I'm more inclined to not even pay attention to the good parts of the season. I'm trying to work on that with like my personal life and Big Brother videos. Like, I'm trying to recognize the good, and I feel like Big Brother 12 did have some good that I'm more keen on now than I was before. But for those reasons, Big Brother 12 is in the spot. 16th overall, we have Big Brother 14. This was the coaches season. We had Mike Boogie, we had Janelle Pierzina, Brittany Haynes from Big Brother 12 that we just talked about, and a fourth person, Dan Giesling, who were the coaches this season. And I laugh because Dan Giesling ran this game. He contributed a lot to the season. He ran this game for a while. Some of the most compelling gameplay in television we've seen, not necessarily because of his big moves like Dan's funeral, that pisses me off for reasons I'm not going to get into right now, but I just think I love self-interested gameplay. A lot of it I find very entertaining just because it goes against the grain of a lot of people's morals inside the game and outside of the game, and he is easily the dirtiest player we've seen on Big Brother. He didn't care who he had to lie on, who had to backstab. If it wasn't serving him, he flung them, and that was very refreshing to watch. I think something that I will say why I'm a lot lower on the season is the fact that he did not win. I think it was so disrespectful that he didn't win. I think it's a disgrace in Big Brother history. You look at the stuff in Big Brother that should not have happened, and I feel like Dan losing Big Brother 14 is one of those. And I'm not even the biggest Dan Giesling fan in the world, but he definitely should have won. Ian, I get why he lost. Like, I will say it would be hard not to vote for Ian Terry, somebody who in season 14 went from being the nerdy, awkward, super fan underdog who almost got evicted all the way to the end, lived out his dream, and is against some monumental, legendary figure in Big Brother and beat him. Like, it was a good story arc, and I feel like that's a lot of what Big Brother 14 is. I feel like you look at this season, and it is a long ride, and there's a lot of story arcs that we've seen from even something like Danielle and Shane in the beginning of the season, seeing how their relationship played out to Dan backstabbing Danielle and Shane and evicting Shane. You looked at the whole coaches thing starting out together and then the coaches getting to come back in the game. And then you see Mike and Janelle leave pre-jury, which is insane because they're some of the biggest names Big Brother's seen. You see Brittany Haynes, who was the favorite to win, kind of like in Big Brother Canada 5 with Cindy Nguyen. You look at both of them and they looked at like the sure things to win the game, and then something crazy happens, like Dan's funeral, Brittany's gone. You look at Cindy blindsiding, backstabbing Netta, and then she's sent home the next week. Like, very unpredictable gameplay, lots of blindsides in this season. Again, I credit Dan Giesley. I can't say that enough. We saw Willie Hantz in the beginning of the season. I love Willie Hantz, and I don't think he should have been expelled. Personally, you look at stuff that's happened in Big Brother. You look at the fucking fight in Big Brother 14. I'm going to get a little nasty, going to get a little mad and bitter here. He barely shoulder bumped fucking Chef Joe, and they're like, he headbutted him. He did not headbutt him. Like, stop being a pussy. He barely brushed him with his shoulder and was expelled. But it's okay for Richard Donato to burn Jet Johnson with cigarettes. It's okay for Bo and Janelle to literally push each other. It's okay for Jordan to do the same shoulder bump that Willie did to Chef Joe to Russell. And it's okay. They're allowed to stay in the game. But no, Willie Hantz gets expelled, which I know it's a weird flex to get mad and campaign for Willie Hantz to stay in the game. But he provided so much entertaining moments and drama that I feel like if he stayed in the game, Big Brother 14 would have been even better. And I know a lot of people love 14, and my placement is kind of low. And it's not that I necessarily think it's a bad season. I just think all the ones above it are kind of better. Another thing that I will say I'm lower on is I don't think the coaches coming back into the game. I do think it helped the season overall because Dan flourished with that. But it piqued my interest seeing the coaches as a twist. And I was talking to my friend Ryan about this. He asked me my favorite twist, and I said the camp comeback, which we'll get to when we talk about season 21. Like, I'll explain that later. And the coaches thing, I feel like they were interesting twists that just did not play out right with the right people. And I would love to see another season of Coaches 2 where they were permanently coaches and didn't come back into the game. I think it would have made things very, very interesting. And it kind of blue-balled me in the sense that I really thought we were going to see this very interesting dynamic. And we didn't get that, but again, it did allow Dan to be Dan, and so that was great. Again, not a huge Dan fan, but he did make season 14 his bitch. In 15th place, we have Big Brother 18, and Big Brother 18 is another underrated season. Every time I reflect on the season and watch clips, I'm like, oh, the season's like a lot better than I remember. I think just when it comes to modern season, I will have to say, I feel like everybody's initially is going to be low on modern season just because we as fans are watching them play out live, and the stuff that you see on the edited episodes we have to live through for weeks on the live feeds and updates. So they seem a lot longer and a lot worse watching live. But then when you go back and rewatch, it's like, oh, okay, this season's cool because you're not living it and it doesn't feel as long. And I feel like season 18 is one of those. The stuff that I will say it has against it is the endgame was very slow for me. I think a lot of the entertainment moments that we saw in the beginning and middle of the game died down, and we didn't get too much entertaining gameplay or even moments at all. Nicole winning I thought was very good. I think Nicole deserved to beat Paul. I think she played a more consistent game than Paul. Paul did play very well in the beginning and end halves of the game, but they benefited from Victor coming back into the game. They also benefited from the competition wins in the beginning of the game, which I'm somebody who says if you have to rely on a competition to stay in the game, you fucked up somewhere either socially or strategically, which Paul definitely did. And I just feel like Nicole didn't make those errors, so I'm glad that she won. But Big Brother 18, aside from the boring ending, did have a lot of entertaining moments. We saw in the beginning, we saw Jose with his delusions. We saw Paulie Calafiori's downfall. We saw Davon versus Paulie in the jury house. We had Nicole being exposed by Frank in that endurance HOH comp, which was very funny because they were literally Davon, Bridget, James, Frank, Nicole were literally, even like Paul and Victor got in on that. We're literally having a conversation about game in front of the entire house while Davon, James, and Bridget were like doing an endurance competition. It was like awkward, but it was like a funny awkward. Another thing, Tiffany's downfall was very entertaining. I just need to talk about and bring up, remember when Davon and Tiffany were on the block and Davon was like next to Tiffany and Davon like flipped her hair on Tiffany, and the Big Brother fans, some of you might not know this, but Big Brother fans, I think on Instagram and even on Twitter were campaigning and like tweeting at production and like had their petitions and whatever for Davon to literally be expelled for whipping Tiffany with her hair. Like, Big Brother fans are the fucking worst. Like, a lot of you guys I love and are a lot of my friends I met through the Big Brother community, like most of the Big Brother fans I will say are amazing people, but then you have the people that are campaigning for Davon to be expelled for whipping Tiffany with her hair, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, Big Brother fans, the best and the worst people. Don't know how I'm on this tangent right now, but Big Brother 18, again, there's not too much against it. It just had a boring ending, and I just think the seasons above it are better, and I just enjoy more. My phone is going very slow. Like, you know when your phone's overheating and it goes slow-mo? That's what my phone's doing right now, but I'm only recording the last 12, like 24 to season 13s of my rankings, or placement 24 to 13 now, and then tomorrow night I'm going to do 12 to 1, which is good because I only have 2 more to record, so hopefully my phone doesn't overheat while I'm recording this. But anyway, 14th overall, we have season 23, and now 23 is another weird one to rank because it reminds me a lot of Big Brother Canada 3, and in terms of the cast, I love the Big Brother Canada 3 cast, I love the Big Brother 23 cast. From both seasons, everybody in them, or most of the people in them, just seem like everyday people, like not influencers that are there for money or for clout. They just seem like everyday people that are fun to hang out with, would be good, what do you call it? Just like good people is the expression. Just people I want to be friends with. But the seasons were boring as fuck. Like, season 23 was historic with the cookout, and I loved everything that they did. And a lot of people say like, oh wow, like they're the best like Black Alliance ever. And it's like, they were also just like, I'm in awe of how they played and how they were, obviously this is like, everybody knows what happened with the cookout. I don't need to rehash it, but just the fact like when you say it out loud, you think about it, it's one thing. And then when you say it out loud, they were 6 people that literally from the beginning of the game were like, let's stick together. And they were like, okay. And then they just made the final 6. That's unheard of in Big Brother. And so unheard of that it's never happened before. I would categorize an alliance of 4 or more, and they were literally 6, which is if 16, almost half of the fucking cast, and they were able to do it without losing a member the entire way. Like, that's impressive. Like, I was in all of it. I do attribute so much of that to Tiffany Mitchell. Tiffany should have won this season, and a reason that I do have it lower is because she didn't win, and if she wasn't on this cast, I don't think it would be as good as it is, or it wouldn't be as high as it is on my ranking video. She's an amazing person and a personality too, and I say it all the time, she isn't somebody that fights, but she just has an aura about her, like her diary rooms and just how she converses with people, that is just so entertaining that I crave watching her on my TV. It's like, normally I like when people scream at each other, unless it's like Big Brother 9 anyway. But Tiffany doesn't do that, but yeah, I still find her very entertaining, which is weird. There were some entertaining moments, like Frenchie's whole weird shit in the beginning of the game, and then we had Tiffany versus Derek F, kind of. We had Kylan versus Xavier, which was a very great fight. I would say a top-tier fight when Kylan was evicted. It was very funny, and Julie Chen being all awkward, like, Kylan, leave, like, freaking out that they were actually going to fight was funny. Kylan calling Hannah and Derek F interchangeable and Jury, and Hannah looking so sad, like she was gonna cry. Like, I did feel bad for her, but it was funny as fuck. Like, I was like, Kylan, like, that was so mean. I love Kylan. Kylan's another person. I say without Tiffany it wouldn't be as good, but I would also say without Kylan it wouldn't be good, because he's delusional and the biggest asshole ever, but in the best way. Like, I'm glad he was on the season. He was a fun villain. I feel like we should appreciate him more. In general, though, I think Big Brother 23 didn't have a lot of fights and didn't have a lot of entertaining moments, and the reason solely it's this high is because I did like most of the house guests, and I did, every time I watched them, I was like, I do like these people, but I'm like, please fight. That's the other thing that I will say about Big Brother 23, which makes me want to put it in last place. They're like shenanigans on the live feeds of when they would sing and dance and do that big blue couching. Fucking hate that. It reminded me of season 21 when Tommy choreographed those like dance routines. Hated it. One thing about Big Brother Boy, not even with Big Brother seasons, but in general, I hate seeing humans get along. Hate seeing people be happy. Probably because I'm miserable and horrible and just demented in the head. But it's like, I'm miserable, so I want everybody else to be miserable. And when I see people happy and getting along, pisses me off. And then when they're doing it on Big Brother, a game about turning on each other and backstabbing, it infuriates me. Like, go manipulate, go scheme, go backstab, go make alliances, do something other than singing and dancing. I hate it. The 13th season overall on my list is Big Brother 21. And now I'm just going to say Big Brother 21 is like the opposite of Big Brother 23, which we just talked about. Big Brother 23 had an amazing cast. Season was boring. Big Brother 21, horrible cast, entertaining ass season. Now, we did have Camp Comeback that I talked about a little bit before, and I think Camp Comeback would have been an amazing twist if the right people were evicted. Like, imagine if Christy was evicted, if Jack was evicted, Jackson, who are literally the fucking most unstable people we've seen, or even in other seasons. Imagine if Richard Donato, a Caitlin Herman, who's another big fighter? Keisha, Libra from Big Brother 10, if they were evicted and had to live with April in that house in season 10, like if Kim Comeback was then, I would love to see it. I just think Big Brother 21, how it panned out with the people evicted, like Kemi, David, and Ovi, and even like Cliff, like they're not fighters, like they're not people that are going to scream at people, so I just don't think it worked out in that regards. Also, I think the way the technicalities of it, having to wear those stupid ass uniforms was horrible. I think the house, well, I know the house implemented a rule where you can't talk game in front of camp comebackers. I think production should have intervened in that and said like, actually you guys can't do that. It's against the Big Brother rules. Sorry, you have to talk game with them there. I think that would have been great. Also, while we're on the topic of pre-jury, worst pre-jury ever. Like the mistreatment of Kemi especially, but also Ovi and David was fucking horrible. Like the racist microaggressions that we saw towards them was insanely hard to watch. It made me and everybody else very mad. On my old channel, I had lots of rant videos of these house guests. They were very disgusting individuals, and you're like, why is this season that high? And honestly, you're kind of right, but let me get on to why I'd say the season is a lot higher. Because when we saw the jury phase, I just said how the pre-jury is the worst ever. Big Brother 21, honestly, probably top 3 most entertaining and fast-paced jury phases we've seen in Big Brother. Every single week, it was fucking unpredictable. We saw undeniable the 6 shooters turn on each other, get into screaming matches. We saw Jess and Kat have which Jess and Kat, like, everybody thought Jessica was going to be a dud. I love Jessica Milagros, and she was amazing. Her little house meetings that she calls when she wasn't even in a bad spot and put a target on her back. It's like, why are you doing this? You saw Kat do the same thing. You saw Annalise get down too and freak out on Jackson when she found out she was being evicted and like kind of let him have it, which I loved. We saw Taco Tuesday with Christy and Nick. We saw Jackson's move where he turned on Tommy and like made up a whole conversation that Tommy didn't say that. He said, you'd all know what happened with that. Amazing move by Jackson, which I don't want to give Jackson any credit because he's literally my least favorite house guest of all time. Haven't said it in a while, but go watch my house guest ranking video. He's in last place for my personal rankings. Fucking hate that dude. Him winning is also why the season's low too, along with the horrible and slow-paced fucking pre-jury phase. Him winning, not only was it because I hated him so much, but because I think Holly played an amazing game of Big Brother, and I think she honestly should have won. Even like biases aside, I think she played more well-rounded, more consistent. She was good socially, she was good strategically. If you care about competition, she won competitions too. I really think she was robbed that season. I think she should have won 100%. She played a better game. But Big Brother 21, horrible pre-jury phase. There was potential with the camp comeback twist. Failed miserably. The mistreatment of the house guests were not okay. But then the jury phase was amazing. The finale was horrible where Jackson won. Oh, the other thing, I loved how unpredictable the season was. Like, from the beginning, even preseason when I did my cast review video on my old channel, I said there's no clear-cut winner. Like, there was not one specific house guest that you could tell was cast to be the winner, which I think played out all season long. Like, you saw Jackson and Holly, you saw Christy and Tommy, you saw Nicole and Cliff on another, and then you saw Nick that was kind of in the middle of everything, and you were like, you could really make a case and see a path to the end for any of these people. So seeing it go back and forth every week, and you really had no idea how the season was going to play out. Like, you couldn't see it weeks before being like, oh, look, Jackson's going to get to the end. You could see the possibility, but it wasn't set in stone, which I did enjoy. I appreciated the unpredictability of the season. Also in the finale, loved the pre-jury calling out Jackson, Jack, Christy, and Nick. It was amazing. Nick being called out for cheating on Bella with Kat, and the jury was great. So there were a lot of moments where I was like, fuck, like these awful people are getting their comeuppance. And that was great. So again, horrible pre-jury, insanely fast-paced and great jury segment, and the finale when Jackson got his fucking shit handed to him and then looked miserable. Loved that. I apologize if I look pale as fuck. I know I'm, like, as you can see, very pale, like, matching that wall. But the last time I recorded a video, for whatever reason, the ring light that I recorded with made me look, like, pale, but, like, a glowing pale. And not glowing like, oh my gosh, she's glowing. Like, glowing is in, like, what the fuck is wrong? Why is your face so bright? So if that happens right now, I apologize. Maybe just, like, cover your eyes and, like, listen to the video or just, like, play it in the background. I don't know. Hopefully it's not. Like, on my end, it's not. but I guess it's something with like the iPhone recording quality and then how it uploads to YouTube, like the HDR gets like really messed up, which is like how the video recording affects the black and white colors. And I think just with the backdrop and like my dark hair and then like pale face, like everything, it's just like overwhelming, I think. Anyway, number 12 is Big Brother 7, the first All-Stars, which I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for. How is it only 12th overall? Which honestly, I like most Big Brother seasons except for maybe like the bottom 5, 6, or 7 or so. But like we're at the point of this list where like I genuinely like all of the seasons now. Like, I like most of the seasons, what I'm trying to say. Like, I know this is going to seem low, but season 7 was fine. It was the first All-Stars, like I said, and we did have some good moments. It was the House versus season 6 for a while. We got the Legion of Doom. We had Will Kirby dominate this game, which a lot of people think I'm a Will hater, which, like, yes and no, not really. And I, like, don't discredit his All-Star game at all. I discredit more his season 2 game. But as a character, I appreciate him a lot on the show. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, he sucks. Like, he was great in All-Stars. Nobody can take that away from him. We saw Janelle's, like, 1 million comp wins, which was fun on one hand to watch because it's like, how the fuck is she winning everything? But then frustrating because she used it to get out all of her allies that Will manipulated her into doing. Maybe I should turn the light down. No, I look red. So yeah, the Legion of Doom rooted for Danielle Reyes, loved Danielle Reyes. She killed it per usual. She didn't do as well as she did in season 3. I don't think her game was as great as it was in season 3, but it was still fun to watch. She still played hard, and that's what I loved about season 7 is my favorite type of gameplay is self-interested gameplay. Think of like a Danielle Donato. She's always going to do, or Danny Brion, sorry. She's always going to try to do what's best for her and not take into consideration her allies or anyone else. And I like those kinds of players. And that's all of what season 7 was. Everybody was doing what was best for them or what they thought was best for them. I know you guys are going to be like, oh, but Janelle played for Will and Chilltown. It's like, yeah, but like she thought she was aligned with them. So it was more, I credit Will's manipulation there. We got some good fights like Marcellus versus Jace. We had Howie versus Boogie, and while we did get, like, the jury house fights between Chicken George and Howie, Marcellus and Howie again, like, we got good fights, but overall, we didn't get too many that I would prefer. Like, I would want more. Some things that hold this season back for me personally is I don't necessarily like the cast enough. Like, I think there was a lot more options. Like, for example, Shannon, Nicole, Hardy from season 2, Kiara from season 3, Jason from season 3, June from season 4, Marvin from season 5. Like, there was a lot of other people that I would have liked to see on the cast. Lisa Donahue from Big Brother 3, the fucking winner, who was in consideration for being on All-Stars, and then production didn't pick her to get back in, and she wasn't voted in by America, which is a travesty. I love Lisa Donahue. I think, like, a huge reason of why I hate this season is because she wasn't on it. I'm so bitter. Like, I would love to see Lisa play again. She was an amazing winner, and the fact that she wasn't picked either by production or America is fucked up. So that pissed me off. I also think Erica losing really was kind of a down point of the season for me personally. I think her and Boogie played somewhat interchangeable games, very similar games, but Erica had the Dr. Will kill and Mike Boogie didn't. So I really think her game outweighs Will. I think hers was more well-rounded, less messy, and I think she should have won. So honestly, for that reason, like, I do rank the season lower. I don't think the winner is the person who should have won. Number 11 is another cast that I love most of and is a very overall underrated season. It's going to go to Big Brother 17. And now why Big Brother 17 is number 11. I know a lot of people hate season 17, but there's a lot of people who have come to respect it. And those people, I'm with you. You guys are the smart ones. So this season had so much stuff. Like, in retrospect, looking back, like, we had Audrey's shenanigans in the beginning of the game, like, being absolutely out of her mind. We saw Jace get into fights. We saw the downfall of Clelly. We saw Vanessa dominate this game, but we'll give Vanessa her own, like, little segment. We had Becky against Vanessa. We had, did I say Clelly's downfall? I think. We had James blindsiding Clelly, getting in a fight with Clay. Davon versus Audrey, Jason versus Audrey, Davon and Jason figuring out the twin twist. Like, we had a lot of great moments. Austin's blindside. We had Austin and Liz in the HOH room. If you don't know what I mean by that, you probably don't want to, but I consider that a great moment because it was funny to me. Like, there was just a lot of stuff that happened this season. There was Battle of the Block, like, in season 16, but for whatever reason, it really worked in 17 and didn't in 16. Well, I don't even want to say it worked in 17. I feel like it just wasn't as big of a hindrance as it was in 16. Now, another big reason I credit this season in being so great is Vanessa Russo. Without Vanessa, this season wouldn't be as great. Every single time I talk about Big Brother 17 or Vanessa, I say it's like my one-liner. Vanessa Russo made Big Brother 17 her bitch. Like, this is her season. Her blood was all over every single eviction, like Julie said in the finale when she interviewed Vanessa after she was evicted. She had to do with everything. She had her hand in every single pot. Speaking of fights, she exposed Jeff Weldon in front of the house, called him out. That was great. And I honestly, it is a, tick against this season that she didn't win for me personally. She was more than deserving of it, but I guess I have to discredit her that she wasn't able to get Steve to take her to the end. But I will say I think Steve is a more than deserving winner. He played a very well-rounded game, very under the radar, but intentionally under the radar. Let Vanessa do the work, and in the back of his mind, he knew he was going to cut her, and he did. So it was good to see. However, I feel like if I discredit Vanessa for being evicted, I also have to discredit Steve because they both were going to cut each other. Neither of them could convince each other to take the other one. So it was kind of lucky whoever won that final HOH. But I guess good on Steve because he was the one to do it. He was the one to evict Vanessa, the one running the game. And I think his win was really well deserved. I love that this season was very female dominated too. We don't really get to see that a lot in Big Brother, but this female cast killed it. I know when this cast came out, everybody was saying like they purposely casted like strong women and idiotic men, especially after 16 that was dominated by men. And honestly, I kind of go along with that conspiracy theory because this is one of the stronger female casts we've ever had. And it was very, like I said, fun to see because we typically don't get to see that on Big Brother. They were all very strong-willed. They were all fighting to get shit done, and they did. Women ran this season, which I loved. Something I just want to throw in, we as a community need to mature and realize that Austin Madelson was a fun villain. Like, yes, he was fucking obnoxious as hell, but he was fun to make fun of. I don't think, not off the top of my head, don't think he was like problematic or controversial at all besides the fact that he cheated on his girlfriend. But it's like, you know, yeah, he was like not the best person, but like he's fun. Like, I feel like he's on the side of a more fun villain in Big Brother, and we need to start appreciating it more. In 10th place, we have Big Brother 20. Now, this is a modern day Big Brother 6, which we haven't talked about Big Brother 6, but I promise you it's coming by process of elimination. Haven't talked about it yet, so you know it's coming up. This season gets a bad rap from the people who watched it live, like on the internet communities, because of how long it lasted, or at least when it became a steamroll with Faute versus Level 6. Once Faute was evicted in the beginning of Jury, it did seem like Level 6 was steamrolling, but I don't anymore. I'm not lower on this season anymore because of that factor, which we'll talk about. But let's talk about the good things. This season had it all. Pre-jury, we had the house split. We had Faute, we had Level 6. And I feel like in the beginning, Faute or the Hive, whatever you want to call them, won competitions. They did provide a good opposition to the dominating Level 6 forces. We had JC and Tyler play in the middle. They both played phenomenally. Like, credit to them where credit is due. Like, they both killed this game. We did have so many great moments in pre-jury. We had Scotty nominating the brothers, got in a fight with, not the brothers, but the bros or whatever the fuck, Winston and Brett. We had Caitlyn fight the brothers as well. We had Caitlyn ran the pre-jury in terms of entertainment. She filled that puzzle, couldn't get back into the game, but besides that, she lost her mind. She backdoored Swaggy. It was fun to see just how insane she was in that house. I did put her on my second chances cast. Wouldn't be mad to see her again. I'm honestly surprised she wasn't on Big Brother All-Stars, but I feel like we will see Caitlyn Herman again at some point. Like, she's somebody that belongs on reality TV. Like, her personality is just made for it. But it didn't end there. We had a lot of great moments. We had Haley's house meeting where she exposed herself as a hacker, which we got Tyler versus Bailey in that fight. We got Rockstar versus Casey. We had Fessy and Scotty's eviction speeches against Tyler and Angela, which caused a lot of controversy. Fessy talked about Angela flirting with married men in a grocery store. Scotty talked about Tyler getting head from Angela, which I know a lot of people say is inappropriate, and like, yeah, sure, it's not appropriate, whatever, but it was still entertaining as fuck because Tyler and Angela were so mad. And like, I'm trying to be, I don't even want to say unbiased, but like, whether you're a Tyler fan or an Angela fan or like don't like them at all, like nobody can deny that that made it more entertaining seeing their reactions and seeing them get mad. I know a lot of people discredit this season because Tyler did not win, which I kind of agree with now. I was happy Casey won. I felt like she was a more well-rounded winner, but at the same time, she did get lucky with the whole like hacker situation. I feel like the hacker did stifle gameplay in this season. Well, I don't think it did. I know it did. So I feel like she is a lot luckier than people give her credit for. And she also, without Tyler, doesn't do as well at all. Another thing I will say about this season, I rewatched a season like in the early 2022. I randomly rewatched like a million Big Brother seasons, and I did it in the span of like a couple weeks, and like was working full time at the time, which like I don't even know how, because Big Brother episodes are like an hour long and like 30 to 40 episodes a season. But I don't know. Big Brother 20 was one of the ones I watched, and I remember the jury phase being so like long and boring. But then when I watched the edited TV show, it really went by really quick. It's a lot less time, like it's only a few episodes without my favorites because I was rooting for Faute, and I feel like that's why modern seasons, I think I said already in this video, modern seasons get a bad rap because we watch them live. So the episodes on the TV show, things that last like 3-4 episodes are weeks long when you watch live. So I feel like a lot of people remember Big Brother 20 as being like worse and longer than it is. But go rewatch Big Brother 20. I promise it's a lot better than you remember. I feel like my 9th spot is hit or miss for a lot of people. It's going to go to Big Brother 13. And while I love this season, and I know why I love this season, which I'm about to tell you guys, I feel like people dislike this season for the reasons I love it. First of all, I love when there's vets in the house. When there's more than one vet, I will say. Like, I like seeing vets come back. I know it's unfair and a very unfair advantage and does hinder the season and is pretty much like game over for the newbies. But like, I don't care. As long as I get entertainment, I don't care who does well, to be honest. And Big Brother 13 is no exception. We had Jeff, Jordan, Brendan, Rachel, Dick, Richard, I should say. Every time I say Richard Donato, I mean Evil Dick, but I refuse to call him Evil Dick, even though sometimes I slip up. And Danny Briones, which each and every one of them started so much shit on their seasons, got into fights, threw down, played hard. None of them were coasters. Some might argue that Jordan was, but I don't think she was like, she was a coaster, but Jordan fights when she needs to. And so I love Big Brother 13. I love the vets. I think there was so many entertaining moments in this house. I don't think that there was any dull moments or even any dull weeks, to be honest. Like in the pre-jury segment, we saw Danny turning on the vets. We saw the huge house fight between Kalia and Danny versus all of the vets, which was like amazing. We had Rachel's rivalry with Cassie, which is like the best thing because Rachel was being so petty, but like who doesn't love petty Rachel Riley? Like Rachel Riley is the best. And we had okay, so another reason people don't like this season, number one, because there's vets. Don't care, like when there's vets, but there wasn't a lot of strong gameplay this season at all, and I'm not gonna act like there was. There was a lot of big moves that were made, like Danny evicting Brendan twice. We had Jeff evicting Danny then. We had Shelly turning on Jeff. So there were big moves that were made. There were a lot of idiotic moves, like fucking Lawan being evicted by Danny and Clea and Portia. But the thing I will say about Big Brother 13 that I agree with of why I don't like it as much is because of the production interference. Right away, we had the veterans coming into the house. So you know production was going to back them. We had for the first time, and I think only time in history ever, or at least for the time it was the first time, where Julie Chen announced that the person that was going to be evicted was going to have the chance to come back into the game. So obviously incentivizing the house not to get rid of the vets, like putting in their minds that they will come back. And that did hinder the gameplay because then Clea and Danny evicted Lawan instead of Rachel, and then it would have been Rachel and Brendan in the battle back, so I feel like it saved them there. We also had the duos twist come back through Pandora's box when Portia won HOH, and that royally screwed Danielle, Clea, and Portia, or not Danielle, Clea, Portia, and Shelly. And so for me, that sucks because I was a huge Shelly Moore fan. Even though I love Rachel Riley, I loved also Danny, I loved Shelly, I love Clea, I love Portia. So like honestly, no matter who won, I would have been happy, but I do not like to see people win due to production interference, which you can't deny. It was heavily influenced by production. But like I said, Shelly Moore carried this season, did a whole video of people I want to see back for second chances. I posted that before this one. You can go watch me and listen to why I love Shelly Moore, but just to sum it up for you, I feel like she's a very smart person, a very strong game player, and she's also entertaining and underrated in the entertainment department. Like, she fought Jeff, she fought Jordan, she fought Rachel and Jordan, or not Rachel and Jordan, Rachel and Portia. So I feel like Shelly Moore was a light of the season, and we need to talk and appreciate her more. Love that Rachel Riley won this season. She killed it as always. Like, she is just a great character on Big Brother. On season 12, she was great. Season 13, she was great. She's going to be on again. Like, we're not done seeing Rachel Riley. We're going to see her back at some point, and she deserves it because Rachel Riley's amazing. I love that she won. Personally, I would have voted for Portia. I think Portia played better, but overall, season 13, just a lot went on. I love it. I understand why people don't like it, but I just disagree because I like it for a lot of the reasons that people don't like it. In 8th place, we have Big Brother 6, and to sum up Big Brother 6 in 30 seconds, it was Big Brother 20 before Big Brother 20 and was also Big Brother 20 on crack. Moving on to number 7. Just kidding. I'm going to talk about the season. I wanted to make it seem like I was actually going to stop talking, but then didn't. So Big Brother 6, honestly, that's the easiest way to sum it up. It was so many strong characters, a huge house divide between the Sovereign Six and the Friendship Alliance, or the Nerd Herd, whatever you want to call them. And the fights this season were amazing. Like, they were huge, but it wasn't necessarily trashy, but they were big fights. We had Michael being exposed as a sexual harasser by, like, the Nerd Herd or whatever. We had Kaser and Michael versus Cappy in the backyard, where they had to split up, and Yvette was in that fight, and they had to split everybody up because, like, production literally had to get on the intercoms and, like, send them each to different rooms because of how big the fight got. We had Janelle versus Maggie, Janelle versus Jennifer, Janelle versus Yvette. Like, she gave it to the Nerd Herd. Janelle versus Bo, where they literally fucking hit each other. Like, there was a lot of fights. Even in the jury house, we saw Rachel versus, I think, Jennifer and Bo, or, yeah, I believe it was that, like, campaigning for Janelle, where she's like, or no, she wasn't campaigning for Janelle. I think she was campaigning against Yvette, and she was like, somebody said, that's your opinion, and she's like, yep, and I'm entitled to it. This season just had a lot of great moments. The pressure cooker competition was amazing to see. It was very thrilling to watch, which led to my favorite blindside in Big Brother history of Jennifer backdooring Kaser. I know people think of blindsides. I forgot to mention that for Big Brother 20. Love the blindsides in Big Brother 20 a lot. I don't know how I didn't mention that on Rockstar's birthday, but just remembered it now. Anyway, this isn't about Big Brother 20. Well, Big Brother 6 is like Big Brother 20, so who cares? For season 6, though, I know people think with blindsides, they think of eviction blindsides, but Jennifer blindsiding Kaser is my favorite blindside in Big Brother history. It was a catalyst for all of the craziness this season. That's what started the downward spiral, or that's when the house really split. I know it was split at that point, but this is where, like, Janelle just let loose and let them have it. Other stuff that was really good this season was Maggie. Overall, as a winner, she was very deserving, very smart, convinced Howie to go after his alliance. Oh, Howie versus April, another great fight where he made fun of her dog Pepperoni and said he wanted pizza with pepperoni on it, and she cried. April fucking Lewis, another amazing character that doesn't get enough credit. When she called the fans that watched the show pieces of shit, and then it was the biggest controversy in Big Brother history, even though CBS historically hides racism, homophobia, but they'll air out a house guest calling America pieces of shit. That's where they draw the line for whatever reason. But then in the finale, when Julie Chen played the clip and the whole, like, crowd booed her or whatever, I felt bad for her, because it's like, us as a community, like Big Brother fans, we know that a lot of the fans in this community are pieces of shit. Like, I agree with April, like, most of them aren't, but there are some. So her saying that was, like, so funny. The Nerd Herd being victims was just very entertaining to me, and, like, this season was, like, messy, but it was a fun mess. The other thing that I wanted to talk about this season, so random, but when Janelle got to go see 2.5 Men live and we saw her talking to Charlie Sheen, like, why was Charlie Sheen on Big Brother? Like, that, those two don't go together at all. I could have also talked about during Big Brother 4 where June went to, I think, the VMAs in New York or something like that, or went to, like, something. Like, I think it was the VMAs in New York. Very random segments. I like when Big Brother does that. Like in Big Brother 16 when Christine, Frankie, and Kayla went to, I think, a Cowboys game or something like that. Like, why does this happen? Very random, but, like, funny. And I just wanted to draw attention to that. Moving on. Number 7 is another season that I think needs a lot of love, but I do understand why the people that don't like it. It's going to go to Big Brother 11. Now, I know every sort of ranking that I've done, or every time I talked about a season, I talk about the entertainment value. Big Brother 11 brought it. Like, almost, I want to say more than any season, like, Big Brother 11 had the fights. I can go through the entire cast right now, and each one of them got into a screaming match in this season. I'm going to do it by clicks. We'll go with the athletes. Jesse got in a fight. Natalie got in a fight. Russell got in a fight. Jeff got in a fight. Populars. Jordan got in a fight. Brayden got in a fight. Laura got in a fight. Offbeats. Casey got in a fight. Lydia got in a fight. Kevin got in a fight. Brains. Shima got in a fight. Ronnie got in a fight, Michelle got in a fight. Like, every single house guest literally fought people, and they were amazing fights. Like, Jesse versus Russell, Russell versus Shima's rivalry, amazing. Said it before, we'll say it again. Whoever put Russell and Shima on a season together deserves the world. Like, that was the most amazing casting decision in Big Brother history. Lydia going berserk after Shima was evicted or was expelled, and she went off on Michelle and poured out her beers and, like, screamed, called Jordan a hoe puppet when they redid the HOH competition. Like, it was fucking wild. And that wasn't even the beginning. We saw Ronnie get exposed as being a rat, playing all the sides by Laura Crosby. Shout out to Laura Crosby, another underrated character. My friend Ryan loves her, so I have to throw that in there. I think I mentioned him. I mentioned Ryan this season, or this video twice already. Now 3 times. Sorry. But there's just a lot of amazing moments. Also, Shima being expelled was great. Not that I liked it. Like, I always say justice for Shima. I don't think she should have been removed. I feel like her feelings were warranted. Yes, she broke house rules, so I guess technically, like, yes, she knew she shouldn't have done it. But it's like, who gives a fuck? She was screwed over by a bullshit twist anyway. Which, speaking of that, what this season gets a lot of discredit for is the lack of gameplay, which I will say there wasn't a lot of masterminding going on, wasn't a lot of big moves, but we did see Jeff use the coup d'etat to get Jesse out, which did screw over Jesse. I feel like he was raw, or I know he was robbed, but again, it doesn't matter if he was robbed or not. That move was entertaining, and I was all here for it. It was a big move. Aside from that, we had Kevin and Natalie make up the lie against Russell and Michelle, saying that he overheard. Natalie and Kevin told Jeff and Jordan that they overheard that Russell and Michelle were planning a final two against Jeff and Jordan and planning to take them out, which was a complete fabrication, completely made up, but Kevin and Natalie just had an inkling. It was pretty obvious, so they just made up that they actually heard it because it was believable. Kind of like what Jackson did with Tommy and Big Brother 21. So there were some good moves. Overall, there wasn't that many. There was a lot of great moments, a lot of great fights. And yes, if you're somebody that doesn't like fights and you're more so for the strategy and the gameplay of Big Brother, you're not going to like Big Brother 11. But as I said in the beginning, I'm all for the fights. I'm all for the screaming matches. So that's why I have Big Brother 11 7th overall. I also think I was going to end it there, but want to say Jordan, I like her. Like, I really am high on Jordan Lloyd. She's, I wouldn't want to say a favorite of mine, but I do like her. But Natalie was majorly robbed. They were bitter against her. Why didn't Jesse and Lydia vote for her? I know her and Lydia had problems throughout the season, but Jesse was literally like her ride or die, and then Jesse voted for Jordan. I was like, what the fuck? But credit to Russell Cruz for voting for Natalie to win, because he's not a dumbass and understands how to play Big Brother, or not how to play Big Brother, but he respects the game and voted for Natalie, who should have won. I'm self-aware, so I'm going to admit this season I'm probably a little bit biased of. In 6th place, we have Big Brother 24. And let me explain why I'm going to say I'm biased. Actually, we'll go into what's bad about this season first. Obviously, the mistreatment of Taylor, I covered this season live in the summer, so I have a bunch of videos talking about it. It was very ugly. The way that she was isolated from day 3, I want to say, by all of the people in the house was very sick to watch, very gross. I'm glad production did intervene and talk to the house guests and said, fucking cool it. She was the ultimate underdog. We saw every week, even after she was saved by the leftovers, she was sort of still talked shit on. People still isolated her. People still labeled her as stuff she wasn't, but she made it to the end and she fucking won the game, won America's Favorite House Guest, the first to do so, was the first black winner of Big Brother, the first black female winner of Big Brother. So she holds that title, holds multiple records, and she fucking deserves it. Taylor Hale, one of my favorites ever. Go watch my House Guest ranking video and you'll see where she's placed in the top tier, because I fucking love her. And that's like a point of why I like this season a lot, because Taylor was my favorite since preseason. I fucking loved her and I pegged her from the beginning. You could go watch my cast review video. I said she seems like the winner. Who won? Taylor won. And I know I'm talking about the down points of the season, so her treatment overall fucking disgusted me. Also, the Kyle stuff, I fucking hated. A lot of people thought like my channel became synonymous with the Kyle slander, and people are like, you like love talking shit about him. It's like I really don't. Like, all of the stuff surrounding Kyle and his White Alliance and the Cookout 2.0 stuff, that was not fun. This was a very dark point of the season. It made me uncomfortable to talk about, made all the viewers who were watching uncomfortable. Everybody, I don't think, if you were for Kyle, pro Kyle, what's wrong with you? But if you were pro Kyle or against Kyle, every single person was not comfortable with all the shit that happened and how CBS handled it. Nobody liked it. Nobody won. That's not like a fun thing or a not fun thing in a season. It was just very not fun to watch. So those are the big major downsides. And why I like this season, why I say I'm biased, is because I did cover on my YouTube channel. It was very fun to talk about. It was a wild season in the sense that I would make a video on a topic happening, and then hours later, it would change completely the narrative in the house, to the point where people would comment on a video I made earlier that day being like, you're lying, this isn't what happened. Not because my video was incorrect, but because the live feeds were progressed hours later to where my video has now changed the narrative from that point. If I'm making sense too? Like, the house, this dynamics changed in that house so quick during Big Brother 24, and it was hard to keep up. I made videos like almost daily, and like I said, people would say I'm like lying or my information's correct, and it's like, it wasn't incorrect. It just was changing so fast in that house. So if you saw the live feeds before seeing my video, it would look weird. But this season didn't have that many fights. We had Daniel versus Taylor and Nicole versus Taylor. We had Daniel versus Monty. We had Paloma versus Taylor a little bit, but without fights, this season had a bunch of crazy moments. We saw the Amira blindside. We had the downfall of Daniel and Nicole, we had the downfall of Kyle, which I know I said the Kyle stuff wasn't fun, which it wasn't, but seeing him sort of go from a position of power, being like the clear-cut winner, to evicted was like interesting to see. We also had Paloma's eviction from the game, or expulsion from the game, or walk from the game, whatever you want to call it. We also had the fucking Jasmine Davis show for a while. We had Muffingate. We have Jasmine breaking her ankle, passing out in the veto ceremony, treating people like utter garbage, thinking that she's better than everybody. It was exhausting to watch, but it was so funny. I have a whole video dedicated to my thoughts on Jasmine. If you want to watch that, go ahead. But she was like, a lot of people don't like her and hate her, and it's understandable why, but I like sort of like to make fun of her, so I'm counting that as a good point of season 24. But the season was just wild in general, like an exhilarating finale with Taylor winning. We had just so many crazy moments, and there was just so much that happened, and it was hard to keep up with. It's like every single update I made, every single episode, every single live feed update, every day in that house, it was like, what the fuck is going on? Kyle and Alyssa having sex on like the pool floaty, and Alyssa like talking about missing her period and us thinking she was pregnant. Like, I know I'm like at the age 22 where I probably shouldn't be talking about that stuff, but like it happened on Big Brother. I'm a Big Brother YouTuber, have to cover it, have to bring it up. It was fucking wild. We are in the top 5 seasons, Big Brother Boys top 5 seasons of all time. So let's get started. I almost said the quote that Casey says from Big Brother 20, and that would have been not good, so let's ignore that. Number 5 overall is gonna go to probably my most rewatched Big Brother season. It's Big Brother 8. Rewatched it earlier this year, and I've rewatched it like a million times over. I've honestly seen it probably like 6 or 7 times in my life. So let me tell you why. It's not for the cast. I hate, honestly, most of the cast I really didn't like, aside from Jen and Danny, who are my favorites ever. Like, in my top tier, go rewatch my Big Brother House Guest ranking if I didn't remind you already. Also, Nick Starcevic, I love. He's so underrated, and I feel like we need to appreciate him more. He was entertaining and just a likable character on the show, and typically the jocks aren't and are just kind of like, and like just boring and dull. But Nick was like entertaining, which was surprising, so he needs to get more credit. The reason I love this season is for the fights. Who would have guessed? So we had so many entertaining fights, like Kale versus Richard, Dustin versus Joe about the You Gave Me Gonorrhea fight, and just all of their tumultuous relationship woes throughout the season, or I guess the first couple of weeks because Joe was evicted second. We had Nick versus Jen about kissing him on the mouth or kissing her on the mouth, whatever the fuck they were talking about. We had Richard versus Jamaica and Amber. We had Danny versus Jamaica and the entire house. We had Jessica versus Richard. We had the Donatos versus Zach at the end. We had Amber versus Eric, which was amazing, where Amber opened up to Eric about being on drugs, or used to be being on drugs, and Eric told Evil Dick or Richard Donato that he was going to use it in his back pocket later, and then Amber confronted him. It was just a mess. Jen Johnson, obviously, hold on. I do this every time I talk about her when I'm in my room and I have access to do this. I'm literally the biggest Jen Johnson fan that you will ever meet. Should I take my shirt off and like put the shirt on? Just kidding. Maybe if I was tan, I would take my shirt off, but I'm literally paler than on my neck and face, which is like, how does that even happen? But anyway, Jen Johnson fan, big Jen Johnson fan, love her. She killed this season. She's another one that just made for reality television. All of her shenanigans this season was so great, and my favorite thing about her is just how carefree she is. Evil Dick poured tea on her head, didn't give a shit. Eric pranked her or did the America's Favorite House Guest thing or America's Player thing and poured mustard all over her shirt. Didn't care. All of the house guests hated her, talked shit to her face. She didn't care. She was a have-not, didn't care, and ate a turkey burger and said, I will now perform eating. Great Jen Johnson moment. And she was very passionate about the game too. Like, she won competitions. She fought her ass off in endurance competitions. She fought to the end. In the one competition, she gave up half of the grand prize if she were to make it in the final 2 just to try to win the competition. Like, she was a fighter. She wasn't just a coaster. And it was very great to see. Cried about her memory wall photo. Cried about her picture that they, or didn't cry about it. And they, well, I think she did cry about one of the photos. Turned the picture of her and her mom around because she didn't like how she looked in it. She's just great. When she said that she wished that production gave her more recent photos, and she was 23 at the time, and in the photo I think she was like 21 or something, so like a 2-year gap. She's just great. I love Jen Johnson. I also love Danny Briones. I think she should have won. Danny in season 8 is supreme. I don't know. I love Danny in every single appearance, even Big Brother All-Stars 2, which is controversial. Loved her. Another fighter. Entertaining. Play this game for herself. She plays it dirty. She's very, like, a scummy player, but in a good way, because that's how you're supposed to play Big Brother, for yourself, and that's what Danny does. A lot of people call her a brat, whatever. I call it entertaining as fuck. Something I will say is the gameplay this season was lacking, but we did see good gameplay from Eric Stein. It was hard to watch him as America's player, though, because if he didn't have to play for America, or they weren't literally the ones making his move, he would have had this game in the bag. He said on record in the finale that he would have never evicted Amber and Dustin, but America literally forced him to. And in that scenario, Richard and Danny get nowhere near the end. So Evil Dick, Richard Donato, is an extremely lucky winner, and I know he blocks and gets mad at people saying that, but it's like a factual, objective thing that he would not have gotten to the end if it wasn't for a twist. So I don't know how he could be mad at that. Anyway, love Big Brother 8 for all of those reasons. There's just so much entertainment, and I love this season. So rewatchable. Please, for Big Brother Boy, rewatch Big Brother 8 if you haven't. My 4th overall season is gonna go to Big Brother Over the Top. And you know how I said Big Brother 6 is like Big Brother 20 on crack? Well, Big Brother OTT, Big Brother Over the Top, is like Big Brother 6 on crack. We had a house divide, and each side hated each other. We had the Late Night Jamboree versus the Mean Girls, Plastics, Ball Smashers, whatever you want to call them. And this season got ugly. Both sides made really gross comments about the other, and it's like, oh, why do you like ugly comments? And like, yes, I said Big Brother 4 and 9 are trashy because of a lot of like gross stuff that they did, but OTT did it, but like it was kept somewhat no, it wasn't really game related. Like there were like a lot of really bad comments, but like for whatever reason this season it just like clicked for me. It was all online. It never aired, but you can still watch it on Paramount Plus. You can't search for it, but look up how to watch Big Brother Over the Top on Google, and there's like a tutorial on how you could find it on Paramount Plus. And if you haven't seen it, please do. It was originally all live feeds, and they would upload 1 episode per week, so it's 10 episodes total. And this season, like I said, it was just like a Big Brother 6, Big Brother 20, where the sides went back and forth every week. It was different in the sense, though, where America had a nominee each week and also a vote every week. So a lot of times America's vote was the deciding factor, and America wasn't super one side versus the other. Like America went back and forth. Like there wasn't a clear-cut favorite side, and that's, I feel like, a reason for me why I like this season a lot. Just being on Big Brother Twitter at the time. Big Brother Twitter, it was like interactable, and just Big Brother Online fans, we fought the sides that were like Late Night Jamboree versus the Ball Smashers fought as much as the house guests did in the side. Like social media was split this season, just like the house guests were in the house, and it was honestly very cool to watch. I wasn't like super interactive, definitely didn't like vote, and wasn't in the like fan base as heavily as I am now. And me personally, I wouldn't have taken a side. Like I loved all of them. I loved the Ball Smashers, I loved the Plastics, I loved the entire cast except like Monty and Scott and Cornbread. Obviously, who the fuck even is Cornbread? So for me, it didn't really matter who was in power. Like I was getting good TV either way. I liked all of the people, so it was a fun watch for me. It's like, you know how I say like it's hard because there's some seasons where I love the cast, like a Big Brother 23, but then the season's boring, or a season where I hate the cast, like a 21, and then the season is still like entertaining somehow. Big Brother Over the Top, love the cast, and the season is fucking amazing overall and entertaining as fuck. Another thing I will say about Big Brother Over the Top, Chrissy Rodolphe, one of my favorite house guests ever. You guys know how I like Jasmine and Raven to like make fun of them kind of, and that's what Chrissy is. She's like one of those house guests that's fun to laugh at. And my favorite moment in Big Brother history, I know I say whenever I talk about something I like, I'll say of all time or best in Big Brother history, but I'm not kidding. In my top 3 moments is when Morgan came out to Chrissy in the bathroom, not came out, well, kind of came out, and told Chrissy, she opened up to her and said, hey, like Alex is my sister. If you haven't seen it, Alex was a house guest that season, and the twist was none of them knew that they were sisters. And so after Alex was evicted, Morgan told Chrissy that she was her sister. And keep in mind, Chrissy was on one side of the house, Morgan was on the other. And Chrissy in the diary room, Chrissy had a God complex, which I'm not God complex shaming because like Big Brother boy complex, God complex right here. More like a Satan complex. God and Satan complex right here. Chrissy in the diary room was like, nice try, Morgan, but I do not believe that. Like Alex is not your sister. And you look at Morgan and Alex side by side and they look like they can be twins. Like, Chrissy Rodolphe is so fucking dumb. And she would, like, have this arrogance about her where she acted like she was the puppet master running the game. And it was so fucking funny and entertaining to watch. And her winning HOH in America, sending her #1 ally packing was great. Also, she won the first care package of Big Brother Over the Top, which made her think that she was the fan favorite for a while. But America just did it to get her out of the way so that she couldn't win a better prize later on. It was just, she was delusional, and Chrissy Rodolphe, love her. She needs her credit. We are now at the top 3 seasons of Big Brother, and number 3 is going to Big Brother 3, and no, I did not do that on purpose. If anything, that the fact that it was the same number made me want to not do it. This is my friend Walty's favorite season of Big Brother. I talk about Walty all the time with Walter, but I like to call him Walty because it's like a meme. He loves this season, and I feel like everybody that's seen Big Brother 3 loves Big Brother 3, and I feel like objectively, Big Brother 3 is the best season. Like, on paper, it checks all the boxes. Strong cast, likable cast, strong gameplay, and entertaining moments all around. And you might be like, why is it not your favorite? And it's just because the top 2, number 1, I like for different reasons than most people would think. And number 2 is like, we'll get there. So, season 3 had an amazing cast. It has my favorite house guest of all time, Chiara Berti. I love Chiara Berti. She's amazing. She's my number 1 ranked house guest, like, ever. Out of all 294 house guests that have played this game, I guess 304 if you count Big Brother 1, and counting Big Brother Over the Top and Celebrity, it's more. But anyway, my favorite overall, and this season had a lot of good moments, a lot of good fights, like Tanya versus Amy and Marcellus. We had Amy versus Marcellus about Amy being an alcoholic, which a lot of people don't remember. Chiara and Amy's rivalry, being jealous over Roddy, fighting over Roddy. We had Lisa versus Josh. We had Danielle versus fucking Jerry, or Danielle versus Lori in the beginning about Jerry not washing his hands. Like, that's one of the most iconic Big Brother fights. Love that. There was other fights that I had listed that I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but they'll come up. The season just didn't have enough fights for me. Like, yes, the ones that we got were good, but like, they kind of happened in spurts and weren't consistent. Like, they didn't really hate each other. They would just kind of be a random fight here or there, but I still love this season nonetheless. Another reason I love this season is because of Danielle Reyes. I know she puppet mastered this game. She beasted her way through this game. And I honestly love how this dynamics were set up in the house, because you have Danielle, who's like the mom figure, but the cool mom. And she did mentor people. I know a lot of people remember this season as her and Jason having a secret alliance of running the game. But I kind of view it as more Danielle mentored and was the original coach of Big Brother before the coaches season, and she took Jason under her wing. She took Lisa under her wing. Even somebody like Chiara and Marcellus, she really guided throughout this game and was the shoulder for them to cry on, and then took the knife, stabbed him in the back. And that's what's so great about Danielle Reyes. She was great socially, she was great strategically, and a lot of people don't like that she was robbed in the end and wasn't the winner of the season, because a lot of people say bitterness. I don't necessarily know if I'd agree with bitterness. I just think Lisa played a phenomenal game as well and was very social. Yes, she wasn't as strategic and pulling as many strings as Danielle was, but she was very social, like I said, with her house guests, very friendly with them too, but so was Danielle. Lisa, I guess, was just a tad better and didn't get as dirty as Danielle did. So I guess in one regard, you could say the jury just didn't respect how bitter or how dirty Danny played, which is bitterness. But nonetheless, Lisa's definitely deserving overall. Like I said, should have been back for All-Stars. Other moves I love, Chiara nominating Roddy, who was her showmance. Like, don't know why. Chiara was entertaining. Like, I do know why. Didn't make sense, but it was entertaining. I get her thought process throughout it. Her also saying that they need to keep the females together, then evicting Lisa, her, like, ally, and then lying about it, and they all knew she was lying. Like, Chiara's great. She was very entertaining, and I just love Chiara as a person. Just want to throw that in there. Like, a lot of people say, why do you like Chiara? Like, who even is that? And it's like, fuck yourself. Chiara's from Big Brother 3. Chiara is a queen. I love her. She was social. She was sexual, which it's like, don't like her for being sexual, but I feel like it was cool to see, because at that time, like, there was a lot of notions against women, and like, if you talked sexually, like, you were automatically labeled as a slut or a hoe or a whore. Chiara didn't care. Chiara broke that stereotype. She broke those social norms, and that's why I love her. She's revolutionary. Chiara Berti, my favorite house guest of all time, amazing character on the show, and she needs to get the credit. So please, if I will pay somebody, well, I don't know how to do that, but whoever comments, I love Chiara Berti, or Chiara Berti is great, I love Chiara from Big Brother 3, your comments getting a heart, getting a like, getting a reply. I'm going to try to reply to all the comments anyway, but please somebody comment that you love Chiara. Like, I need to know there's other people out there that love her. My second favorite season overall is going to go to Big Brother 10. Everybody loves Big Brother 10. This shouldn't be a shock to anybody. It might be surprising that I didn't place it 1. People might get annoyed at that. Again, don't care. This season, just so well-rounded. It's a great game from Dan Gheesling, who won the season. He was underrated, or not underrated. He flew under the radar in the beginning of the game, underestimated by his house guests, which was his intention. He didn't play flawlessly. Like, he went down with the sinking ship with Bryan. He could have really distanced himself from Bryan, but he didn't choose to, and he kind of became more relentless as the game went on. I feel like I wanted to see him be relentless in the beginning, so he did fuck up a little bit. He also made unnecessary moves like the replacement nominee roulette. He didn't have to be as theatrical as he was, but I don't want to discredit Dan. He played a phenomenal game, like, under the radar, and then once there was less people, stabbed them all in the back, got rid of his allies, brought his final two to the end, knowing they'd be bitter against him and won. We did get strong gameplay. If you're into gameplay, this season did have that. We also saw the Covenant Alliance of Libra Thompson, Keisha Smith, and April Dowling ran the game in the beginning, the pre-jury phase, and even in the beginning, not the beginning of jury, because Libra was the first evicted in jury, but the pre-jury, they ran it. They got Bryan out of the house. They got Jesse out of the house. They fought each other. Keisha's birthday, one of the most popular fights in Big Brother history. People that don't even watch Big Brother knows about Keisha's birthday. All of the house guests fought in that scene. Like, it started with Keisha, Libra talking in the bedroom or the hippie room about April and how she was HOH and how they don't trust her, and Jesse was in the room sleeping but overheard it, was a little rat, ran to April, who went down, confronted Libra and Keisha, did horrible damage control, pitched Keisha off. Keisha came back into the room, yelled at April, fought with April. Jesse came in the room, they fought Jesse. Somehow Rennie and Jerry got into there. They got in the mix. They started fighting. Michelle raised her voice. It was a mess. It was a lot. There were so many great fights this season. Apart from that, though, we saw Rennie versus Jesse in the first week because Rennie was being too loud when Jesse was sleeping. We saw Rennie versus Jerry multiple times throughout the season. There was just a lot of great fights this season, a lot of great entertainment, a lot of strong gameplay. And I know I'm not going to be talking about this season for as long as the others, but there's not more to say. Like, the season has everything anybody could have wanted. A strong cast who played the game hard with likable characters, entertaining gameplay throughout, people who fought, didn't just coast, and we did see great, strong gameplay. So, like, what more could you want? Big Brother 10 was amazing. We're at number 1. We're at the end of the video. My favorite, Big Brother boys' favorite season of Big Brother of all time is Big Brother 2. If you know how to count, you knew what this was going to be. If you're an avid Big Brother boy viewer, you knew what this season was going to be. I love Big Brother 2 so much, which is funny because I honestly hate this cast for the most part. I love Nicole and Hardy. I love Shannon Dragoo. She's my second favorite house guest of all time. And even if you scroll back on my channel, my first video that I have published is a dedicated video to Shannon where I just compiled her best moments on the show. It was like an hour and a half. I love her a lot. And you might be wondering, if you don't love the cast, why would your number 1 favorite not be a cast or a season where you love everybody? And let me explain why. There's a few reasons here. So let me just go to like the ticks and tacks. What's that word? Like the brass tacks of the show. Why am I getting a call? Sorry, person. Absolutely not. I'm recording. So Big Brother 2 had a lot. They had a split house. We saw Chilltown. Mike Boogie won the first HOH, and him, Shannon, and Will isolated themselves, made themselves the villains of the house, and all the opposition, called TOP, which stood for the other people, all rallied against them. We saw Boogie try to nominate Cheryl and Nicole because he didn't like Nicole and Cheryl was his pawn, but we saw the first pawn going home scenario where Nicole was able to flip the house against Chilltown and really villainize Chilltown, even though they already kind of did it themselves and turn everybody against them. We had Nicole and Hardy run this game. As I said, they're some of my favorites of all time. After this video, you guys better go watch my house guest ranking and you'll see they're in the top tier. I don't necessarily think that they're the strongest or smartest duo of, oh, and now I got a voicemail. Nice. I'll talk to you after I film this video. I don't think they're the strongest gameplay-wise, or the smartest gameplay-wise necessarily, but they were a fun duo and a very powerful duo. They alternated HOHs. They were both very social. They both had the house guests eating out of the palm of their hands for a while. We did have a lot of fun fights. We had Justin being expelled, and we saw his interview with Julie Chen where he, for some reason, couldn't fathom why they would remove him for holding a knife to another house guest's throat and asking if she would be mad if he killed her. That was a funny moment. I know that sounded crazy, which it was, but it was funny. We saw Ken versus Shannon. We saw Shannon versus Hardy when she was nominated. We had Ken and Bunky versus Nicole. We had Nicole versus Will. We had Ken versus Hardy. We had Bunky versus Nicole and Monica. We had Monica versus Kent. We had Boogie versus Autumn. We had Autumn versus Shannon. There was a lot of fights this season. And when people think of Big Brother 2, I don't think they think of entertainment and a lot of fighting, but this season really did provide in that aspect as well. We had great gameplay. We had great fighting. Another thing, Nicole Scaffridge, I always say, is like an OG Vanessa Russo. Nicole Scaffridge ran this game, and people say that the season after, season 3, that Danielle Reyes was robbed because of bitterness, but Nicole Scaffridge doesn't get the credit for being robbed as well, I think, because she was up next to such a big character like Will, which we'll talk about in a second. She really dominated her way through this game, and she didn't get the votes in the end, not because of anything that she did. They were just bitter against her. She did turn on her house guests, her fellow allies, and people who thought they were friends. I just think she played in an underdeveloped version of this game where playing dirty and actually playing the game wasn't respected. I feel like if we saw her come back and play this game now, she would be the winner, just because Big Brother has come a long way and is synonymous with backstabbing and lying. And in my opinion, she was the first person to float, if you will. And now let me go on a little quick rant about floating. I tweet all the time. Everybody's like, why do you discredit Will in Big Brother 2? He implemented floating. He was the first floater. He's the godfather of Big Brother. No, fucking wrong. If you really want to like nitpick like that, Nicole was the first one to do it. Will floated after both of his allies were evicted, being Boogie and Shannon, which was after week 4, I believe, 4 or 5. And then once he ran out of allies is when he actually started playing the game, which before that, Nicole started floating between Chilltown the week she was nominated, which was week 1, and she intentionally did it. She intentionally went to Chilltown, people like Will, Boogie, and Shannon. She also went to the other people top to ensure her safety on both sides. Somebody on fucking Twitter told me Krista actually floated first. It's like, no, Krista was just trying to be friends with everybody. She didn't do it as strategy. It was Nicole that did it. But I will say, I think the whole topic of who floated first is completely fucking arbitrary and nonsense, because floating is just a natural human functioning in social situations. Like any sort of socialization will have floaters. Think of like a work scenario. If you're at work, I know a lot of Big Brother fans don't have jobs. I have come for Big Brother fans so much. I promise I love most Big Brother fans, but I'm talking about the faceless people on Twitter that love to come for me, like that don't have jobs, might not be able to get this reference. But think of if you're at work, or even in your family or friend group, and when there's drama, and you always have that one person that's in the middle, that's kind of like the rat that's like talking to everybody. Whenever there's a fight, they don't really have a loyalty to themselves. Like, that's a normal human functioning. So I think saying that giving credit to somebody for floating in Big Brother is absolutely nonsense, because anybody, like, people float in real life, in work scenarios, in friend groups, in family gatherings. Like, it's just something that happens. And I feel like in Big Brother, the term like floating, that's what they call it. But like, everybody floats. Everybody's a floater. Everybody's a rat at some point. Like, that's just how socializing works and social settings work. So I feel like saying like crediting Will or Nicole or Krista as floaters or being the godfathers of floater, it's like, that's so stupid. Like, to me, that's like petty and like not an actual valid point. Something I will say about Will, I think he's a lucky winner. If you go back and rewatch Big Brother 2, it's my favorite season. I've seen it a lot. Shannon and Dragoo evicted the week they were nominated, or pretty much self-evicted. She told everybody to vote her out, and they literally said, I'm evicting Shannon because she told me to. Otherwise, I would be evicting Will, because they all hated Will. So it's to no credit of his own. If it wasn't for Shannon self-evicting and self-sabotaging, attacking the HOH and house guests to ensure they would evict her, Will would have been evicted 4th. Like, Will Kirby would have no legacy if it wasn't for Shannon Dragoo. So I do discredit his game in that regards, being he was lucky. He did, after that, like after his allies were evicted, he did play strong. He attached himself to Nicole and Hardy, knowing that they were the power of the house and would take him far. They did take him far because the house guys hated him, and they thought they would be bitter against him in the end, which they were, but they were against, Will was against somebody they were more bitter towards, being Nicole. So honestly, I think Will is a fun character, though a lot of people say I hate him. I don't think Big Brother 2 is anywhere as good without Will Kirby. Like, I'll say it straight up. He did add a very interesting dynamic to this game. He was the opposition. He was the antagonist for Nicole and also the rest of the house. So I do appreciate Will. Like, I don't think he's the best winner that we've seen. I don't really think he's an even good one. I think he's one of the worst winners that we've had in the show, which is controversial. People are going to give me hate. I don't give a shit. But I do respect him as a character. And now, let me close off by why I really love Big Brother 2, aside from all of those things. This season did not have a power veto, and in my opinion is the most pure form of Big Brother that we've ever seen. There was no veto, there was minimal editing. We really were just seeing strangers living in a house, socializing, getting to know each other, and it is more the social experiment side of Big Brother versus the overly produced, overly developed game we get today with lots of like power vetoes and twists thrown in and like alliances. This is really a game of who can get along with these strangers the best and who can get more people on their side and manipulate just with their words more than like competition wins, if that makes sense. There was a lot, like I said, there wasn't editing. Something that I love that Big Brother 2 did is they would have segments on the show where it would be like, oh, Will's being funny in the kitchen, and then they would have every single house guest diary room talking about their feelings on Will, and then weeks later we'd see another segment of like Will pissing somebody off, and then we'd get diary room segments from each house guest talking about how like, oh, I liked Will, but now he's starting to rub people the wrong way. So with a cast of 12 people, which I think this season benefits from more, we did get more airtime for individual house guests, and we did get to see not only the house guests as people and get to know them, but we also got to see their character arc and storylines with how the house guests perceived each other at first versus weeks down the road and what changed and their whole thought process. So I love that. It just felt very organic and natural. They also had Monday, like annual Monday meetings. I think it was on Monday in Big Brother 2, which think of when we have house meetings in Big Brother that everybody loves. Big Brother 2 had them, but like it was a production thing. Like production made them have house meetings where the whole house would sit down and rehash what happened that week, talk about who was HOH, who was nominated, why they were nominated, what the nominees felt, what the HOH felt. And that made for some entertaining moments. I wish Big Brother would do this now, where instead of having like a twist competition on the Sunday episodes, we could have Sundays be the episode where we see these like formal house meetings where production makes them all get together and rehash what happened during the week. Like if we had that in modern Big Brother, it's inevitable that fights would break down when you have all the house guests sitting together talking about their feelings, which aren't always going to be good and positive. Like it would make for interesting TV, entertaining TV, would lead to more fights. So that's something Big Brother 2 that did that I love. There was just a lot of, I don't even want to say innovation in this season because Big Brother 2 was pretty much the first season of Big Brother after Big Brother 1. I'm somebody that would love to see a no veto sort of season again and just see people in the house living together, have an HOH, nominate 2 people, and then they vote. I would love to see 12 people again. I just love classic Big Brother. Another thing that they had is in the final 2, Nicole and Will had the ability to nix a jury vote. They each could eliminate a jury vote, which I think is interesting in Big Brother. I feel like they should have kept that twist around, because imagine in a season like 18 or 19 where the vote was 5-4 and Paul and Nicole could have got rid of a jury vote, and maybe Nicole accidentally got rid of a jury vote for herself, or Josh actually accidentally got rid of a jury vote that was for himself and then would have made Paul the winner, which it would have been kind of like bullshit, but it would have made it more interesting and just adds another element of strategy and reading people in Big Brother. Overall, I just love Big Brother 2. I love seeing this social aspect, just seeing these people live together, get to know each other, and strategize on a more human level. To me, it's like, not to be like weird, but like you all know, like I'm a little crazy, a little bit of a psychopath. Like even in real life, my friends can attest to this, my family can attest to this. Like I'm very attent and alert in social settings, and like I'm always paying attention. Like I always know what's going on in public. Like when there's strangers, like I know who's doing what, who's talking to who, like who's like, I keep tabs on people, like kind of like a serial killer. But it's like that's what Big Brother 2 is. You're watching these sort of hamsters and you're able to keep tabs on it because it wasn't overly produced, overly edited, and that's what I loved. It was very fun to see. I believe when I rewatched it too, and I was either when I watched it the first time or rewatched it, I've seen it like 4 or 5 times, like from start to finish, all of the episodes. They did in the finale, it was playing the Big Brother 2 theme song while they panned through each and every room that was like empty because it was the finale, nobody was left. And I honestly, like Big Brother boy, emotionalist Big Brother boy, I literally teared up and had tears going down my, like I wasn't like bawling, but like tears going down my face, because to me it just signified the end of what I consider to be the best Big Brother season, the most pure form of Big Brother, and just knowing that after Big Brother 2 we will never see and never get to see another season like it. And it's just like sad to me, because to me Big Brother 2 is my favorite, as I explained why. It's just Big Brother 2 is Big Brother, and I wish every season was like that, but we will never get it back. But I still love Big Brother nonetheless. It just, no season will ever hold a candle to Big Brother 2 to me. But like the saying goes, not to be cringy or whatever, but I guess all good things must come to an end, like this video. So that's all the seasons ranked. Let me get to an outro for you guys. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who has watched this video, even if it's for 5 seconds, if it was the whole, however long this video ends up being. Thank you for watching it. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment down your thoughts on anything and everything I said. Feel free to leave your own ranking list. And even if you want to do like a top 5 or a top 10 of your favorite seasons in the comments. Make sure you say you love Kiara Bertie too. Make sure you're subscribed to me because Big Brother 25 is right around the corner. I'll be covering it more so than ever. So be subscribed so you don't miss it. Let's gear up for Big Brother 25 together. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for supporting me always. Just know that I've had almost a year off of making videos to sort of reflect and contemplate on what I want to do on YouTube. And let me just tell you, I have so much planned. Don't want to give too much away. But what I will say is nothing's going to change on this channel. Just like in Big Brother 24, I'm going to do videos the same way, cover recent news that happens on the live feeds, but I'm going to be adding stuff to my channel. So all of the same content that you saw during Big Brother 24 will remain the same. There will just be more content, and there will be more content after the season airs. I have stuff lined up. I have stuff planned. Please trust me because I trust you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Share it on social media. Follow my Twitter. Follow my Instagram. Linked in the bio. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be covering either news, rumors on Big Brother 25. Who knows? Thank you, guys.